This is a book review of Conan Le Cimmerien. Now this is the French version of Frost Giant's Daughter, original R.E. Howard story, and it's by Robin Recht. It's got some bonus material. It's got 80 pages, predominantly in colour, and it came out in 2018 from Glenat. Now there is going to be an American version fairly soon, I believe. I've got it pre-order, so I'm looking forward to that, from Ablaze. They brought out quite a few of the others, also in obviously American editions, and so I'm really looking forward to that one. But I've been impatient. I went for this one as well, and I've got a few of the others as well. I'm just going to get another one here so you can see there's a Conan book there. So there's there's about 10 or so from. You can find them on their website, Glenat, as well as obviously online, etc. So, but they're in French, so you may want to wait for. But of course, the thing about this, it's a lot bigger. It's a lovely hardback, beautiful hardback. And I'm just going to show you. I've got the omnibus edition. I love this one. Got the Barry Windsor Smith, and it's bigger. So you got the Conan book, bigger than the omnibus. I'm bopping myself with that. So, and also bigger than the original comic. Night of the Frost Giants, the brilliant Barry Windsor Smith version. I love it. One of my favourite comics. I love that comic. And though my copy is reasonably tanned and not particularly tatty, but it's still, however, it's a very short story. It surprises me when I picked it up again just to have a quick look through. I thought, it's only about 10 pages. Obviously, this one is a lot longer. They've expanded the story out a lot, added quite a bit. So it's got beautiful. The cover is stunning. I think that's just absolutely good. And you can really see that's the quality all the way through the book. So now I'm just going to run through it. It's got an introduction. It's got a lovely, you can't see a map. Actually, it's got the map of the thing. And I think when I saw they put a sort of overlay of what the modern world is on top of this, and for some weird reason, Cimmeria is over my home county. Well, I don't know if that's true, but anyway, it looked like it. I thought, oh, that's interesting, that it actually places it over Kent in the UK. Nothing like Kent anymore, thankfully. However, brilliant intro by Michael Moorcock. Love that. And then you've got this beautiful artwork. Look at that, absolutely good. Now, I can't show much of the artwork of this book, and it's not because I don't particularly like showing vast amounts, because you want to buy the book. You've got to go and get the book, but obviously you've got to just show a few examples of the amazing artwork, just to say, this, you must go out and buy this and get this book, because it's just gorgeous. You've got the initial story. I love the word balloons, the snow and the blood, it's just stuff. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want that in real life, but in this book, just beautifully drawn. This is really, the walls, everything about this is just superb. And I can't show that bit either. There's actually very little I can show. Oh, yeah, I can just quickly show a little bit. I'm certain I can show that bit. There, you got the Frost Giant's Daughter. So I'm not going to show any more because there's a lot of violence in this. If you're not into violence, then obviously you shouldn't probably be reading Conan books. But this has got a lot of violence and just high impact. A lot of, also, Frost Giant's Daughter, she's a real fun character. You would, she really is enjoying, and she's got beautiful, the blues, the sky, the whites of the mountains, and the sound effects as well, just thwack, thwack, crack kind of thing. And you got Conan, really awesome, just standing over. Now, she must be fairly small. He's like seen as about 8 foot, 10 foot, really gigantic. Of course, like I said, it's in French, but it's, but you've got him, obviously, the story where she's, what's the name? Dragging him along. And it's just glorious. She's stunning, absolutely beautifully drawn. It's quite just, however, she is in a nude for quite a lot of it. It's not like the American version, obviously the early, this one where they did a lot of cover up, obviously the comic code, etc., just to cover it up. But they did a bit of where she was a bit more revealing, and obviously they had to change that. However, and that's in the omnibus, so you can actually see the original pages. But this, the French, they really don't worry about things like that. There is a lot of sexual activity in here, and it will be very interesting to see how the book gets brought out in the US version, whether some bits of it may be in there or not, because there is some scenes that I think interesting. I am quite certain that Robert E. Howard did not write about some of that in the 30s, because I'm certain that it probably wouldn't have got published. I'm certain there would have been outrage about this. But of course, this is French. The French have no worries about those sort of things, which is absolutely fine by me. Doesn't worry me in the slightest. So it's just a glorious book all the way through. Just beautiful, beautiful, stunning artwork. I've read it about 3 or 4 times since getting it. I only got it yesterday. I know it's terrible, but I didn't realise until I got the Ablaze comics that there was this series of comics. So I've just been buying quite a few of them and just getting this one. And I just reread it, and I just think, what an amazing, beautiful, beautiful work of art. It is a work of art, just stunning. I love this. Now, why there's not a British version of this story, and I know there's issues with things, so maybe that's the reason. But I just think this is one of the most. Only slight thing that was a bit. The panel structure in French books it's obviously different from because they don't mind in French ones. So you've got. I'm just going to show you. Well, I can't show you that because that's. But there's a lot of very small panels as well as big, expansive panels. So you've got real sort of big. You can see there from that side shot, big, massive panel. But you've got very thin panels. They really do. They're not like big page spreads or anything. Some of them, sometimes you get like really tiny postage stamp picked panels, which is very different from how the timing, how the spaced panels. They really are willing to do a slightly different way of doing things. I suppose like Japanese manga comics, they've all got different styles and approaches to panel layout and how the story goes along. But this is just awesome, awesome book. But it does sort of slightly different. I must go back and read the original story because I'm quite certain that there's been quite a few changes in this. But also there's bits that slightly I was disappointed by at the without spoiling the story. At the end, there's a bit that's I'm quite certain in the book, the R.E. Howard version, is done slightly away, and it's slightly done in a way that was not as effective as the way it was done here, I think, personally. But however, I think this beats. I mean, I don't want to compare things too much because that's brilliant, and that I think is even better. I loved this one. Can't say enough about it. I think it's just great. Now, also, and which really does push my ability to read French, is it's got all about weird tales at the back. So you've got some text there about weird tales, the fantasy fan, and you've got all about R.E. Howard, etc. And then you've got some awesome. I can't show that either. There's a lot. I can't even show that either. So there's quite a few pages at the back I can't show, particularly think, yeah. And there are actually some scenes where I think, I wonder, yeah, they were really pushing it. However, great series of Conan books. I love these. Absolutely masterpieces. Now, they're not all. There's one, the Red Nails one. I wasn't so enamoured by the artwork. It's okay, but it's too muted and too low con. But this is just absolutely right as far as I'm concerned. So Conan Le Cimmerien, The Frost Giant's Daughter, totally recommended.